oodles and scoodles of welding. What's going on, guys? Another day in the shop. Dan here, DD Speed Shop. So, 57 Chevy. Look at this fine convertible. You can't even tell I butchered it from a four-door. Man, you know, you guys should be so nice in the comments. I don't even know what to do with it. I honestly thought when I was chopping this thing up, I was gonna hear about it. So either my skills are better, or this camera I'm using makes it look a lot better than it really is. But either way, thanks for all the support. It really keeps me motivated. Today, like every day, we're welding. So this car, I said at the end of the last video, which was minutes ago for me, a couple days ago for you guys probably, I want to get the welding done on this thing because I want to start putting it together, and I hate doing the welding while running fuel lines and brake lines and all the electrical and all these things that get set on fire, carpet, all that sort of stuff. So we got a pile of welding to do. I'm going to try and make a little bit of fun out of it. We'll see. I got just a little bit more kind of trim to do, so we'll do a little tutorial how to get this set in. You know, I'm shocked how many people are enjoying the slower parts where I'm showing how I do things. Hey, if you guys appreciate that, let me know. I love showing anybody how to do anything, because I am by far no expert, but I will show whatever I don't know. Anyways, we have obviously this whole belt line. It's all tacked on, so there's a pile of welding to do in there. This is relatively thin, so that's kind of slow moving. We don't want to put a big warp in it. Even though it's behind the trim, it'll still make the panel look goofy. We got to finish it up the rocker. There is no door jams whatsoever. We can do that some other time maybe. I really want to get that done. Get that in there. The big one is the floor. Full of junk in here, but it's just tacked front and back. We do have all the sides done and underneath done, but really I seam weld the whole back and, well, basically the front as well. The front does have some clamps along the front underside, which I'll get to. We want to get that all dialed together, so we can get that in. We'll probably start fixing the wheel tubs and all that when we put the inner structure in, but that's a little bit down the road yet. Want to get it together, run and drive, put a seat in it. I want to drive this thing around the block, I'm telling you. So I'll get set up. We'll probably start on this side. Once we get that done, we'll work inside a little bit and just, you know, I shouldn't even say, I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to involve this welder and a lot of go from there. So, get a drink, take a minute, leave a comment, and we'll get after it. Okay, so we're going to put this final bit of convertible piece in. Actually, before I forget, if you wouldn't mind subscribing to the channel. I always forget to ask. I hear it makes a big difference. I'd appreciate it. Anyways, so we're going to put this convertible piece in. It's just kind of sitting on top, so we'll give it a couple of, break the tacks, fold it up, and kind of clean the metal up. Same with down in here a little. You know what, I got to start taking all this off anyways. Because we got to weld the door gap in. But yeah, we'll get this kind of set in just like we always do. I'll talk you through it. You can judge me silently in the comments that I read and cry myself to sleep every night. Oh, how about it? Okay, so we got her all cleaned up. Now, that's really what some people should be telling you, is to clean the metal with, you know, grind it or mineral spirits or all that stuff. I very rarely do that, but we'll do it right this time. Now, step one, I'm going to have to chop a bit of the door out, because it's a door, not a quarter panel. Okay, so all I did there was where the door is attached to the inner structure, which I want to keep, I just kind of zipped it off. Just fold this back into place, and ultimately, really just start cutting. You know, I'll tack the front, fold it again, and we'll zip it down the side. Okay, Okay, this one I did slightly different. Typically I'll cut and walk it in, but in this case we need to get the rear structure out. And once we welded it in, we weren't able to do that. There we go. So now, the hammer. I cleaned up in here, I actually get some tools. Get right up in there. So all we're really using the hammer for is to hold it in place. It's really, it's kind of already done because it can only be in one spot. You just want to try and match this curve. You kind of got to overdo it in one spot to underdo it in another. Metal's forgiving, it'll come back. Okay, enough. So now we just want to push this so the curve is the same. There's a little whack there. Okay, so here you go. It's in. I'm going to buzz it all the way. Before I do that though, I'm going to take the trim off here, so I might as well weld the whole door up while we're at it. And I don't know if you can see right here where my hand is. This is the old inner structure of the door. We cut off right there. So I'm going to leave that, and I can actually weld these together, which will save whatever flex there is will be now taken up in the door through the door jamb. Once it's all boxed in, it'll be strong. Those are my thoughts anyways. Not a tutorial. I don't think there's a tutorial about this level of butchery. The old neighbor drive by, give me the old wave. That's how, you know what's good. He drives a Suburban. So yeah, a little fast motion taking this thing apart and start welding. Well, a pile of grinding later, and it, well, welding and grinding, I should say. It kind of looks like a quarter panel, so it's all rough and whatnot. The quarter panel's basically done. We got her into the rocker. I mean, obviously we need filler work and all that sort of stuff. And I'll have to get in the trunk and take this trim off properly. Again, that full spear will make a big difference, and I might be able to track down some fancy trim, but that's kind of down the road just a little. This gives it the look. I'm sure you get far enough away, but not bad. The trim draws your eye away, which is unfortunate. So what I have left is in the, what are we calling this? Door jamb. So the bottom part, crazy people. I saved the section from the panel, so I'll be able to splice that in the bottom. No big deal. At the top, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I gotta fill in this thing. The big issue is right here. Obviously, the 4-door was a different design and stuff like that, so I'll have to put a piece in. Actually, I wonder if I could grab the front of the door and make a cap. So I kept every piece. That's the trick. Keep every damn piece of everything. I don't know if you can see or not, but the this thing is jam-packed of everything. So I have all the extra metal I took off. That might be a good idea, Dan. Man, you're a smart guy. If it doesn't work out tomorrow, then I was an idiot. But, so we got that going on. Tomorrow, well, I don't know if we'll start the jam or not. We'll do this. So this one is, I don't know if it's easier, same but different. We got to weld the door in, the back, the front, and the bottom to the rocker. Obviously, there's no quarter panel work, which is nice. Fill in the door latch for the rear. And then we got to finish the fronts of the rockers, because they're actually not done on both sides. I just kind of tacked them into place. So we got that. Once that's done, it's pretty solid. Get all that taken care of. I'll probably do that tomorrow morning. Lunch break. Then we'll come out, we'll finish off the complete floor. I got to run out tomorrow. I need to get some seam sealer so I can seam seal that all. Door jamb's done. And we're not doing too bad. Then it's... I'm going to do the inner structure right away, or if that's enough, then I can start plumbing everything. Because, you know, I always hate doing the inner structure of stuff, because on these damn, well, cars with roofs, you feel like you're so enclosed and stuff. I don't think this will be that bad of a job, so I'm not, I'll get it done when I get it done type thing. All it has to do is take care of that, carpet in, seats in, that's all taken care of. So yeah, I think that's a good game plan for tomorrow. Finish off this side, get the inside done, seam seal it, get underneath. Maybe seam seal it, you know, give it a once over, but oodles and scoodles of welding. Anyways, it's midnight or midnight 30, so I'm gonna take a, well, not a break, I'm going in to sleep. See you guys tomorrow. Morning. So it's the next day. We got a fair bit done the other side last night, and today it's supposed to be hot, so we're gonna try and give her, well, I'm gonna try and give her before it gets too dang hot. And what I want to do first is the floor, because that's an ugly job. You're sitting on it, you're screwing around, doing all that stuff. You can't get away from it. So we'll do that first, and then we'll tackle all this after, because I can be far away from it, turn the fan on, and get a little breeze in here. There's no roof, which makes a big difference, but it still is terrible, as you guys know, welding in any sort of enclosed area. So I got to clean up the pan a little bit, but we'll buzz it across the back, we'll buzz it across the front a little, we'll weld in these posts properly, and they're just kind of tacked down. I'll hammer them all down, really put some heat to them so they got some strength. And then, yeah, we'll move on to the quarter. We'll get the convertible piece sunk in, weld on the back, start taking some of the trim off. There's going to be a filler piece at the bottom to the rocker, and then door jambs, which are going to be a bit of a pain. I ended up kind of cutting them a little wrong, but hey. When I've never done a 4-door or 2-door convertible swap ever, and there's no instructions, I figured it wasn't too bad if I only screwed up one spot. So we get that all dialed together. So it's gonna be a lot of miles of welding going on today. But what do you expect when you're putting all new panels on an old crappy car? All right, let's get after it. Miles and miles of welding later. Front and back are all done. I just give it a quick coat of black paint. I don't think seam sealer to get some. I then did modify this post on both sides. I just kind of split them and hammered them down. But man, this is full-blown sturdy now. So up next, we're gonna do the jam. I think what we're gonna do with that, because I need a little bit of material. I cut it a little shy. So either I'll use some filler, or I kept all the stuff I cut off. So this has the exact curvature that we're looking for. I don't know if it's from this door or not, but it'll fit right in there. So I think that's step one, get the sheet metal lined up and ground down. So I'm happy with the door gap, because we're essentially making the door gap now. At the top, it's very flimsy. I literally just stacked a bunch of weld to hold it about where I want it. So we'll get it skinned on the outside, and when it gets on the inside, we'll just kind of box it in, and it'll be ready for filler. And then this side is essentially done. I did do the front of the rocker as well. But yeah, it's nice and sturdy, ready to go. That side, the post is done. The door has the same thing. I think it's actually worse, unfortunately. Putting the floor in, all that definitely. I believe this car, well, for sure it was. It must have had a big sag in it. It was all rotted when it was a four-door still. So we're not bad. Actually, this one lines up with the post piece really good. So all I really have to do is join the post to the filler piece. So that's, I don't know, 1/4 inch or so. Up top looks pretty good. I gotta trim it up. But yeah, this is the piece I'm talking about. I'll have to build something in that little void. But then she'll be nice and sturdy. This one still needs a little bit of love. Welding on that outer panel, sure, strengthen it up. So we'll get set up on that side, probably lapse it up a little, and see what we come up with. I'm excited for that to all be done. Now it's break time. I'm gonna start all again, put the convertible piece into the door, weld the door. I'll probably weld the door in first, do the convertible piece after. And oh yeah, we gotta build a little section down there, but it's not too hot yet. It's like 85, so keep giving her. Well, I moved ahead, and I didn't do a whole lot of filming because I didn't know, again, I didn't know what I was going to do. We got the other side, I'll show you the exact same thing. So I ended up splicing a piece of steel in the top here, which worked out pretty good, just that leftover from one of the sides, which I still have some left for the other. And then, you know, just filled in here. I had to make a little piece up there. This I literally just put a piece of welding rod in there and fill it up. So it's rough, but not bad. It needs to be ground down. This is good now, all nice and sturdy at the top. Give it a little bit of an angle. Down here, same thing. I welded a piece in, folded it down, welded it over, and that was pretty much it. The door gap's not bad. The door still kind of does its thing. It's a little tight at the top. I might have to just grind a little out. And the bottom's not too bad. We can fix that all up with filler. This door is so hammered, it's all twisted and kind of pulls out the bottom. But this side is sturdy metalwork. We might need the odd little weld here and there and stuff, but overall, you know, I'm gonna put a little piece. This doesn't have a little fold down. I'm gonna run it back to there. I kept the piece I cut out. So essentially, something like this piece going, just like that. And then join them up a little, fold this over, because this has a little flex to it. Otherwise it's sturdy. That can be all done down the road. Man, it's been a lot of work, but it's all together. Anyways, it's lunchtime now. I'm gonna take a little break. I'll be back out and we'll give her on the other side. I spent 4 hours so far welding all this stuff. It's probably only a few minutes of footage, but that's how welding goes. But now this thing is sturdy. Well, other than just that one little section, but she's sturdy. Okay, other side. We have found the heat of the day. It is friggin' hot out. So, yeah, we're gonna weld this door shut. Now, everybody always thinks, oh yeah, just weld the door shut, it'll look cool and this and that. Man, welding a door shut is a lot of work. You gotta think how much solid weld you have to do down, across, and back up. You know, it's not just tacked, it's, well, when it's bunch tacked, but solid welded. There's probably more weld to hold this door on, quarter panel, than there is to actually change the quarter and weld a whole length, which is a lot of welding. So we'll go ahead, we're going to just clean up the edges best we can. So I'll first use a flap disc, and then I'll run a zip disc in there to kind of get all the junk out the best I can. There is a bit of a gap, not terrible to do on this. I'm going to hammer this one out, maybe just push it in a little. But again, because the door's got skin wrapped over it, and it's double wall on the quarter here, you can put some pretty serious amount of weld in it, and it's not going to bend nothing out of the way. When you're doing just like single kind of sheet metal, you got to be a little bit careful, like just one layer. We got lots. I'll probably cut this off, just get it out of the way a little. We got the door going down the back, and around here is pretty easy. Then we'll probably focus on the front, get it tacked where we're happy. There's a fairly large gap between the bottom of the door and the rocker, but I mean the rocker is where it was supposed to be. It's lined up with the the wheel arch and all that sort of stuff. The door fits pretty tight back and front, so just kind of the way I guess it's going to be. There's a bunch of miscellaneous panels trying to fit together here, so we're doing the best we can. So yeah, I'll get to grinding. Okay, so ran her down around the zip cut. You know, honestly, the zip cut barely fit between the two, which is what you weld up all the time anyway. So you just want to make sure that this is kind of close to your finger. So as you know, as close as I can. Down here is pretty good. Up here, I guess I must have just kind of eyeballed it. So I'm gonna burn this in. Down the back, the front should be pretty simple. It's gotta, so we're gonna line it up with the door. It'll be golden. So we'll do everything except for the rocker, and we'll push it in and deal with it how it's gonna be. See the door well, it's shut, whoop, all down there. The front we just got a little bit, the door gap is, that leaves a little bit desired, but we can clean that up just by running some weld or something down the side. And then grinding her up, we'll obviously have to put a little filler panel in there, no big deal. This fit real tight the whole way around, just as the bottom starts getting a little gappy, but I think a big part of that is this is not doing much. Anyways, up here, so I'm going to cut just a little bit of this double wall stuff out, get that out of the way. Unfortunately, I've had this bent up and down a few times, so it's all kind of mangled, so I think I'm actually just going to cut it right off, butt it up, and then weld her on. Seems like a good plan, right? So we get that dialed, we'll get this kind of cut out, and then we'll do the old step-by-step cut and weld as we go, which I'm sure you guys are just never getting tired of at this point. And then, yeah, we'll finish that up, and then we'll do a door jam. Fun times. Man, have I done a lot of welding today. Okay, so we're just going to clean up where the mount's going to be, or where it's going to mount-ish. I really need 2 grinders because they're going back and forth all the time. It's a friggin' nightmare. Just went on Amazon right now and buy one. But, so we'll clean that up, and we'll get the door prepped up with some, pull some material out. Okay, so now, let's get this corner out, which, you know what, maybe I shouldn't have welded that all the way up to the top. Oh, that'll be okay. Yeah. Hopefully it'll come out. Actually, you know what, this side doesn't really need any of that, so let's cut this out. So, where does this want to live? Something about like that. So we'll straighten everything out with a hammer. Hammer-ish. Now, times I'm using a hammer, grinder, and a welder all at once. It's freaking ludicrous. Get that. This will need a little bit of smooth it out, but for now, we're good. That's where that's gonna live. Slice it out. Alright. Even with gloves. Oh my goodness. It's hot. Okay. Flatten this piece out. Right through the glove. Who would have thought these grinding discs can grind through anything? I know, I'm an idiot. Okay, this panel's starting to get just a little warm, and that's to start getting it warped, so we're going to take a little bit of a break. Even though I'm bouncing around, it's just in such a small area, not much you can do about it. So I'll take a break, finish welding that up, and we'll be right back. Alright, meow. So I finished off the top, and I actually welded the sill on. So it's pretty simple. Put the door where you want it and weld it together, just like we did on the back of the door. So I wanted to finish this up. I'll do a pile of grinding and we'll kind of bring it back. So this, unfortunately, the door is going to be opening and closing 1,000 times, but I put a little piece in right here just because we had a gap. So pretty simple. I just cut a piece, miscellaneous leftover sheet metal I had. So I'm just using this. I think it's 18 gauge. So we're going to do that. what we have to do that's going to be a little complicated, because unfortunately it's rotted out when I took it off, is the little piece that's going to go around to the door. But we'll do that from the outside, because what we're going to do is we're going to make a little, basically it's like a half moon kind of hook shape, and we'll get that where we want it. Then we'll just box it in with a piece of steel. I got to weld this to the post itself because I had to slice it to kind of move it all the way around. The door's a little bit different shape. This is on there pretty good. I'm gonna weld this complete right now, just real quick, just so that ain't going nowhere. Then we gotta deal with the top, because obviously it's a little spring loaded. And this is the thing where I kind of just cut a piece that was gonna fit in here, and then you kind of just hold it where you want it. You give it a couple of zaps, close the door, and give it like just one tack weld to hold it, and then it'll be where it wants, and you can just do the whole thing and then clean up with a grinder, box it in, make it look nice. And then for the gap, if we need, I will use a grinder down, but you can obviously grind it smaller to expand the gap, and if you need to make it bigger, you just use this TIG welding rod, coat hangers, whatever, to fill the gap in. And that's pretty much it. So I'll give this a quick weld, and then we'll bring it back. Alright, so we got this sucker kind of roughed in, so we're going to take our piece of steel, which is actually too big, but we'll trim her down. So I'm just going to kind of hold it about what I think I want, and line up the edge. I'll give her a kind of one of those because that's about the shape we want. I'll then trim it out with a zip disc, and we'll see how poorly it fits. I feel like it's going to need some massaging. So, well, that ain't too bad. Give her a little mark here, we'll trim it. There-ish. Good enough for fit. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna tack it to the round bit. It's hot. It's hot. Kind of fold it, cut the lip. So we want to kind of hammer it in so I can clear the door, right? Popped off. So we'll call it close enough. It's going to want to be right there. Now, I have no idea if this is the right way of doing it or not, but this is how I'm doing. So we'll hold it, give her the old eyeball. Okay, so now it's holding on its own. see what we got. And obviously we have to kind of smack it in and do a few things with the hammer. Really no big deal. Gotta zip the end off so it fits and knock that in. So this is gonna look a little goofy. Well, helmet, but let's be honest, door jambs look goofy. Take a minute and look at your door jamb on your brand new car, they look goofy. So there we go. Ugly fit in there. Again, cleaning up the metal properly probably makes a big difference, but we have this curve, which we want. It's whatever it's going to be in there. We're not going for haftery, as Danielle called it. But it'll look fine. I'll just grind it up real quick, and it'll look real impressive. Okay, so that's all done. Are you ready for it? Weld the door shut. Look at that. The door actually a bit of a whack down. It's all kind of bent from when I was welding it. That ain't bad. Now the door gap is terrible. Let me show you. That no good. What we'll do, what am I supposed to do right now? We'll weld a little piece of welding rod on there. We'll fix it right up. So it's going to be a little difficult to show, but you get the general idea. So the gap is crappy from there till about there. There's a lot right there. So this is just TIG wire. So we'll kind of put it in a little pocket. Whoops. Get it on there. Just kind of walk it up. See how this looks. You get it really hot, it's easiest to break it off if you don't have a set of like side cutters. Okay, so as you can see, can you see? The gap's still bad right there. We'll weld this in. They'll just need one more piece right there and then grind her all down. Okay, that's kind of welded on. Give her a close. I should say, most people do this on the on the door itself. I've seen that lots of times, but you know what? This door, it's done nothing wrong. And that welding wire. You could go on another car or do whatever down the road. I mean, let's be honest, this door post, whatever you want to call it, is well, she's pretty unique. So give her one more, I'll grind it off, and we'll see what it turned out. the damn camera shop got too hot. So unfortunately it's Saturday night, we do lives on Saturdays. So I'm gonna call it here, and tomorrow I'm gonna finish off the door and this little piece I gotta make. I still gotta finish grinding all the way around there and stuff. But just to show you, we're pretty close on our door gap at that point now. I mean, like right here, you just give it a few tack welds and grind it. You go down here, oh, same thing, a few tack welds and grind it. Almost down there. And down here's a little tight, we'll just grind it. Up here is the little piece I put in. I still gotta clean that up a little bit nicer. But there you go. We're working on the door jambs, pretty good. We're sturdy. Like that's not bad. Instead of welding that in and everything, but that's really it for tonight. It's hot, I gotta go have a quick shower and hang out with you guys, which is always a fun time. But tomorrow morning when it's cool, I'll bang out the, I'll just show you the little door piece. You can see down there that gap, we gotta get that filled in, trim that out, fill that in, and probably do the holes in the door. End of this video, man, I did a lot of welding. Like I was out here at 8 or 7:30 or so, and it's almost 7 o'clock, so call it 12 hours, stop for lunch, so 10 hours of welding and fabricating and screwing around and grinding. Like, this is what, like, hopefully these longer videos showing a little bit more work. This is a lot of work. I love doing it, and it's possible, and you guys can do it as well. But between today and tomorrow, I'll easily put 20 hours in to this car, just in 2 days, plus the rest of the week. I for sure put 40-50 hours a week in these cars, so just bear that in mind. If you can do it, if I can do it, you can do it, trust me. You just gotta be committed. See you tomorrow. Next day. So, we gotta finish up this door jamb. We got the top kind of sorted. Everything's good there. Actually, I'm gonna re-weld in this post. I forgot I didn't do the front side, so I gotta do that real quick. We're gonna work on this bottom area. Now, I saved the pieces that curved around here, but they were rotted out, so I'm just gonna make my own. So you can see, we don't want that gap, or square it off. I'm just gonna take this piece of steel, square it up a little bit. We're gonna weld it. Let's place it in there for now, but we're gonna weld it so it's flush mounted, flush across there. I'm then gonna close the door. We'll trace it. We'll cut it out with the zip disc, which will then give us a nice kind of curve. And then we'll just take a, trim this all up. We'll take a flat piece of the same leftover steel or whatever it's in there. We'll plate the top of it. So we'll weld it right to the post, up the side, and along the little piece we just made. And it'll be all boxed in, nice and sturdy. I'm gonna get this dialed together real quick. We'll get this going, and we got our little marker for tracing. Should be a pretty simple job. We got that, and then back here, same thing. We'll take a piece, we'll put it in there. We'll have to just put a couple of folds on it, obviously the proper width. Weld it top, bottom, sides, and that's about it. Pretty simple. It's these little tedious things that take a long time. I still gotta do the front rocker. It's not quite welded all the way in, but that's where I'm ending it. Start the day off with ending a video. Win. fair bit of progress. All the ugly welding is on the car, finally. Now, down here, this dog leg, unfortunately, is pretty beat up. It was pretty thin, so I just kind of bugger welded it together, but it's good enough for now, good enough for this year. I can always fix that up later. You know, there's some pinholes up in there as well, which I'm just going to schmuck over, and what I'm going to do is make a list of all the stuff I'm kind of butchering, and come back and fix later, maybe, never. Door gap's pretty tight. I'll have to take a grinder to that, but it fits not bad. Door jam's all good. Nice and solid. It's unbelievable the strength that comes back in these things once you weld them up. So there you go. It's a two-door convertible. It needs a bunch of love as far as I'm concerned. But like I said, I want to keep jamming. You know what's nice out today? We're getting near the end of the good weather, so I want to drive this thing a little bit this year. Up next, well, I'm going to clean up stuff. I got a wiring harness. I bought a Amazon one, El Cheapo. So I'm going to try that out. I've been buying those kind of more pricey ones. I want to try this out, see what it is, do a little review on it. So I'm going to put that in, lay it all out at least, see what it looks like. So I think next video will be wiring harness, maybe plumbing some brakes and fuel line. We'll see how it goes. And that video starts for me right now, for you guys in a few days. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.